Okay, Chris, so you've just finished doing a song with Chris about his kayaking adventure. Can you just tell us how you did it?
Okay, well, it took sort of just over 2 and a bit sessions to do this. What we started off by doing was looking at some writing that he did with Karen a couple of sessions ago, and he seemed to really enjoy the kayaking part of his adventures. And so we thought, okay, let's have a little go and see if we can write a song about it.
Yeah.
So the first thing that I asked him was to describe what the kayaking was like, and so to have some adjectives to describe kayaking.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
We started off by talking about peaceful, scenic and wonderful. He also came up with spellbinding. Now at this point as well, I sort of did a bit of oral stuff as well, gave him some sounds to listen to, so I gave him a waterfall, and I also we just had some sort of peaceful river.
So that was on your phone.
So that was on
like
a YouTube clip that I just managed to find, just to give it a little bit more of an atmosphere. So the way that we did this was we looked at the words first. So I asked him to choose which one of the adjectives he wanted to look at first. He said spellbinding. So I said, okay, what was spellbinding?
Yeah.
And he then came up with the sentence on the letterboard: the narrow waves caused by the boat. And I said, there's sort of anything else, and by the oars were spellbinding.
Right.
And we thought, okay, that's a great first line. We counted the syllables up, which we've done before in some of our music, and we counted 16 syllables. So we thought then, okay, if we were doing a song, 16 syllables in a line sounds a bit much, so we could have 2 lines of 8 or 4 lines of 4.
Right.
And so I asked him, did you want 2 lines of 8 or 4 lines of 4? And on his letterboard he pointed to the 2 to say, right, 2 lines of 8 please. So then we wrote the narrow waves caused by the boat. We worked out that boat would be the end of the first line. That would be sort of like the 8th syllable.
Yeah, yeah.
And by my oars were spellbinding.
Yeah.
Then we
So
thought,
did you do the music to that then?
That's when we did the music.
Oh, right.
Yes, so we got the first line.
So how did you do the music?
The music, we sat down at the keyboard and I just gave him a little bit of a warm-up first. Somebody just get him to press a few notes, a little bit like the letterboard really, pointing to different letters and things.
Yeah.
And then I just said, okay, how do you want to start? So he started off with a B.
So did he just play the note, or did you do it on the...
So he played a B first of all. Yeah. We then went to... We went to the... he also said, okay, what letter's that? We pointed to B on the letterboard.
Yeah, yeah.
We also went to the musical stave there as well and said, okay, where would B be on the musical stave?
Yeah.
So he pointed to that middle line.
Yeah.
We put the crotchet on it.
Yeah.
And then we said, okay, then sort of what do we do next? Let's have 2 or 3 more notes.
Yeah.
And so he went to the B, A.
Yeah.
So, oh, that sounds good. So we repeated that a couple of times, just get it into our heads. Did the same on the letterboard. What letters were there? A, B, B. So where does the A go? Goes here.
Yeah.
Where does the B go? And then we ended up with that. And then we said, okay, what do you want to do next?
Yeah.
And so then we sort of he went down to the F and then did this sort of F, E, F, F business down here. This is where we run out of crotchet. We need some more crotchets.
Okay, all right. That's a job
and
to
then
do,
and then he was able to sort of say, okay, where's the A? So we went through that a
This
few
is
times.
really good, Chris. We're finding out how you did this bit of music.
And so we ended up with that whole first verse. And what we normally do is I ask Chris what does he want to do? Does he want to repeat?
Yeah.
Or does he want to make new notes?
Yeah.
That's why we ended up doing that thing with the repeat sign this morning, and said he wanted to repeat.
Right.
And we thought actually that's quite a good idea because of the sort of like the motion of the kayak and the gentle waves and everything else gives the impression of it.
Yeah.
So we thought, right, in that case then, that's the melody, nicely done. So all we need to do now is we need to think about the verses. And so, so we talked about what spellbinding was in the first verse. We then went to what was wonderful, what was peaceful, and then we sort of went the narrow trees in
Yeah.
the wood nearby, the pine trees in the
trees,
wood
yeah.
nearby around the bank were wonderful.
Yeah.
What I noticed particularly about Chris is I didn't even count the syllables until afterwards. And I realised actually he's got the syllable count spot on. I was half expecting to say, right, we need to put a few
Adjust
more
it,
words
yeah.
in and put it,
Yeah.
but he didn't. He seemed to.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think,
He did that
yeah.
yesterday in a poem with
And
Alex
actually,
actually, and it was all fine.
he
It didn't
does
need
it.
editing. Yeah.
It's not a
Yeah.
coincidence.
Yeah,
He really
yeah.
does know what he's doing with that. And in the third verse here, the scenic waters rippling. We had a little talk about rippling. Did it need to be 2 syllables or
Yeah.
did it need to be 3 syllables? And
Yeah.
he showed we wanted it to be 3.
Yeah.
We're gentle and so peaceful. We have to sort of make
Yeah.
peaceful a little
Yeah.
bit more, a little bit longer. And then once we got the verses done there, we went to the chorus here, and we did the notes
again,
first
yeah,
and
yeah.
said, right, okay,
Yeah.
we want something a little bit different to the verses,
yeah.
and so
Yeah.
he thought he went down to the B, and it was the same kind of thing that we did
Yeah,
before.
okay.
Went to the letter, went to the. With this, unfortunately, we can't really go down below a bottom C there. Otherwise, we get into lots of. We have to look carefully. So I'll have to work out what we do with that. But certainly with the letterboard and notes here, he came up with the B, G, A, B. No, he didn't do that. B, G, A, and then he went up the scale.
Yeah.
And then again, did he want to repeat it or did he want to have different notes? He wanted to
Yeah.
repeat. And so once we had the
Yeah.
So we got the tune all sorted out by that point. When we went back onto the bed at this point, and we just asked him, okay, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
And I said, right, my kayaking, that could either be the first. That could be the first word. Kayaking is kayaking is marvelous, or something like that, or it could be the last. It could be the last line. So he actually came up with something far better than kayaking is marvelous. Won't you take me kayaking?
Yeah.
And okay, we thought, okay, fantastic. Well, that's good. And then he then sort of said, won't you? For the second line.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, fair enough. Again, did you want to just repeat the line? But no, he wanted to have different words. Won't you sing along with me? Was what he came up with there.
Very nice.
After that, we just got all the structure, and all we needed to do then
Was to work out what you showed.
what we showed earlier on. What did you want, verse 1 and verse 2? Did you just want a chorus each time? Did you want to start off with the chorus?
Yeah.
And that's how we did it.
Excellent. Very good. Thank you, Chris.